All right, good afternoon, everybody. I am Ronald Gordon with Texas in Color. And today we have a young lady that's running for office in Schertz, Texas. And somebody reached out to me and said, Ron, this would be a good interview for you. And can you make it happen? And we did. And boy, we made it happen real quick. But that's what it's all about. That's what we do here to let everybody know who the candidate is, no matter what city they're in the state of Texas. We cover the whole state. But today we're covering something local in shirts. I'd like to introduce Tiffany. For those of you who may not heard of your name before, and this is the first time, tell us who you are and why are you running for Schertz City Council Place 6.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Ron. This is such a pleasure. For all those who are listening, I'm Tiffany Gibson, and I am running for Schertz City Council Place 6. I've also had experience being on council before. I've had the honor to earn the support to be City Council Place 4, as well as Mayor Pro Tem of the beautiful city of Schertz. And ultimately, I'm running because at the end of the day, I'm the most experienced representative that's running at this moment. I'm also everybody's neighbor, proud veteran, a small business owner, and somebody who truly believes in the heart of our city. In most the most the biggest reason that I'm running as well is because I deeply care about the safety and growth and opportunities here in this wonderful city. I love how we're a growing city, but I want to make sure that I have the opportunity to continue to work aside leadership such as the city staff and small businesses in the community and just strengthen what we have and continue to build forward for our future because yesterday is the past and tomorrow's the future.
Hmm. So you served as Schertz City Council member and Mayor Pro Temp. Let me get it straight. What did you learn from that experience, and how does it prepare you to serve again?
That's a good question. Um, how those things prepared me was to be able to understand how to protect the values of our city, to also move forward with how we're going to safely develop our city. Being a city council member is not about a title at all. It's about being able to work and grow with neighboring cities and also being able to make very, very tough decisions at the core. Like, what are we going to do? How are we going to manage the past purpose and ultimately the people of this city? And so for me, my experience there was learning how to move forward with the values I already have, such as service and community and people. And so, also to lean into the mayor pro tem, I had the pleasure of being sworn in as mayor pro tem as well. And what that is it creates an opportunity or a responsibility for me to step in as mayor. And in a multitude of ways if the mayor is unavailable or if something comes up, but also to be able to not have a single point of failure in a city if something is going on.
Okay, you often say that experience matter. Why is experience especially important in this race?
So I believe experience is important in any race, but particularly in this race because right now we have so many things that are potentially in disagreement or against us in our community. I believe that experience is important because I understand the past, but I understand where we're going. I understand that Schertz is an extremely special place, and I'm literally committed to keeping it that way. I want to keep it strong, safe, and prepared for the future. So, having that experience is being able to dig deeper into the books. Those who have not had that experience don't understand how a meeting works or what happens in a closed session where the public is um, not available to see those decisions that are being made. And so that responsibility is huge. It's not just one question or two questions. These are things that can develop and grow and provide what our city can be and what our city won't be.
Okay. So, as a Army veteran trained at Fort Sam Houston and a small business owner, how have those experiences shaped your leadership style?
So as a Army service member and veteran, those values of being in the military, leadership, camaraderie, um, and just ensuring the safety of each other and having each other's backs, that is a legacy type of ownership and leadership and a sense of togetherness that I value. And so for me, I don't just believe in the safety of myself and my family. I believe in the safety of my neighbors and someone that is in front of me at the grocery store or on the side of the road or any of those things. And so that commitment is I will jump in and ensure that I am pulling to serve you, to save you, but also having that knowledge to do so and not hurting myself in the process is where my military experience has come into play. As a small business owner, we know that now and forever businesses are required to keep a sustainable city as well as help with our taxpayers and completely circulate money around our town. As a small business owner, I don't just do that. I don't just supply a demand, but I also employ our residents. So for me, that builds a greater connection. And so when I say having also that experience, there is, even without this title, I still stay connected to the community in many ways. So whether if it's my business or whether if it's relationships in the community, being connected to the chamber, or any of those things, my neighbors know me. The city knows me. People are aware of who I am, whether if I'm in the seat or out of the seat.
See, now, which leads to the next question: communities and issues. So, what do you believe are the biggest challenges facing Schertz right now?
That that's a multitude of things, but what I would truly say right now is there is a big issue with the conversation and handling and voting for a overpass potentially in the city of Schertz. So an overpass is a huge infrastructure that overlays our current highways or our current roads. And so, with that being said, that's going to cause a disruption in people's homes, people's businesses. It has to have somewhere to infrastructurally be. So that's one of our biggest situations is this truly going to be necessary? Will our residents truly gain more accessibility or be more safe with this add-on? And so right now, a long-term infrastructure solution is being discussed for our corridor for FM 3009 and the FM 78 corridor. That's something that I actually don't agree with, and the reason why is because I believe that we still need to make a change to our current road situation. So I believe that there's an impact that we can utilize in our Schertz Unified Development Code or our Schertz Comprehensive Land Use Plan, which are different policies that are out there specifically for these areas. And so for me, since Schertz is quickly growing, I think that we need to look at potentially some more traffic lights or, another plan to smoothly strengthen that area. Um, another issue that's existing in the city of Schertz is um, protecting our growth of our city. That could be tricky sometimes because we don't want to end up being a city that is going downhill, aka fading into the wind, where you could see, the the dry, crisp trees rolling across, and people feel like, oh, this is a dying town. But we also want to stay relevant so that people actually want to travel here, or people want to live here, or people want to do business here. And so those areas, as far as supporting the growth here, is a big topic of discussion because we've been growing. We've just opened up Schertz Station on I-35, and that was actually one of the developments that I had the pleasure of voting on while I was in office last time. And I think at the end of the day, that's huge for all of us. It provides compatible development and something that we really need to grow, but also supports our existing neighborhoods. And those tax dollars roll into a lot of different various areas, such as paying for roads, utilities, public safety. So I think that those are the key areas that we're focusing on.
Well, I love it. You tapped in on my next three questions without even asking. You really
Rolling too
did.
fast. I'm sorry.
Because the one that you mentioned this one, I'm gonna ask it. How do you plan to protect the value characters of Church while still encouraging economic development?
Absolutely. So, I mean, just to kind of reemphasize, ultimately, I support the policies that protect existing neighborhoods while definitely ensuring that new development pays its fair share. And what that means is, as we continue to grow, I want to be able to ensure that I continue the legacy um, to grow but not react. And so oftentimes a city is like, oh geez, we have cities that are, developing faster around us. Well, we're not going to react. That's great that they're growing, but what is our plan? So sticking to the plan is very important, but supporting those policies that exist. But again, like I said, ensuring that whatever new development pays their fair share, that's important. And being careful with how we plan growth to strengthen our community instead of overwhelming it.
Okay. All right. Let's shift to leadership, economic and leadership. You own a commercial janitorial business in Shirts. How does that being a business owner help you understand the needs of working families and local businesses?
I know how hard it is to make sure people feel safe, connected, and be able to afford to live in the same place that they work in. Being a small business owner is foundational for me because it ensures that I'm making sure that the families that I am employing, I'm also helping in this beautiful city that I call home. It is a very difficult economic situation that we're currently in. Supporting small businesses are tough. Attracting the right business is tough, but keeping taxes stable and infrastructure to match the growth is very tough as well. As a small business owner, I understand the experience of the hustle. I understand being transparent to how we're going to continue and making decisions to serve the people. It's not about politics at that point. It's about literally caring for thy brother and thy sister. So for me, it's more of a also a spiritual connection there because the working class is what keeps us going. So we really need not to divide that, but to make more steady decision making on how we can not only stand accountable, but how we can also stand supportive.
Okay. Fiscal responsibility is a big part of your platform. How will you make sure taxpayer dollars are being spent wisely?
Absolutely. So we have the city of Charlotte reviews their budget every year. Fiscal responsibility is about living within our means as a city for me, but also being able to prioritize essential services like public safety and making sure that we're not putting unnecessary burdens on our taxpayers. Now, mind you, fiscal responsibility also means being able to make disciplined decisions that protects our city's future. That doesn't mean that we won't be required to increase taxes at any time. Sometimes those things can ebb and flow based on how we want our future to look. So oftentimes it's kind of confused of, oh, fiscal responsibility means, hey, I'm never going to increase tax structure. Sometimes you have to. If we need better roads and we got potholes, or we need, you know, um, if we need better areas for our residents, or we need to figure out how we're going to maintain something, sometimes it feels like it could potentially be a financial pressure on doing that while also trying to keep the taxes low. So sometimes the responsibility is being careful with money, but also making sure that we have the money to be careful with. We can't we can't rub two pennies together and create a road. So for me, I always prioritize it in, responsible budgeting. How are we being transparent with that? We do lay it out to our residents, and also protecting the taxpayer. So how I usually try to combine it is, at the end of the day, is community economic development and fiscal responsibility. So I also believe that before talking about cuts, I believe in evaluating the efficiency of it. So making sure that we're getting the value of every dollar while still really protecting essential services like public safety.
Okay. You know, transparency is something many voters care deeply about. How would you work to build a stronger trust between the city leadership and the community?
The first thing I would do is educate our residents. Educate them by knowing that the people in shirts always know what decisions are being made and why they're being made and how it's going to affect them. The way that they know this, or they can come to know this, is attend a city council meeting. Come up to our city staff offices, sit down with our city staff. Everyone is being paid for out of your pocket. The transparency goes both ways. So keeping an open line of communications, from a city standpoint, we always keep the residents in the loop. We have our city council meetings. We publish our meetings and our agendas. We publish our agendas well before the meeting so that they can be aware of what is happening. Um, and then we've also made it very open for people to be able to ask questions. Actually, and interesting that there's a city council meeting tonight at 6 o'clock. For people to be able to come in and speak, everybody has the right to hear a resident. All you do is you come in, you state your address and your name, and you state your case. Your ability to be heard is solely upon you as a resident. Now, for us, once we hear that, then we clearly move forward with whatever the request was or whatever is needed. And so with city leadership, we're always on the ball. We answer every question and make sure that everyone feels like they're welcome, and they're not, there's no silly question. Every question is meaningful because you pay to live here. So as far as transparency goes, it honestly is a two-way street. So sometimes I think that there's always room for improvement for communication, but my goal is to build trust by making sure residents feel informed, included, and heard.
Okay. So we're going to tap on something right now. You have spoken about overcoming a medical challenge and coming back fully healed. How did that experience strengthen your commitment to do public service?
That is It's been definitely a deeper push. Um, having having the pleasure to serve, and then having my health become an obstacle was very difficult. Um, Not just for me, but for my family. And the very first thing that I would hope people would understand is, when you're a leader, you have to make very difficult decisions. And the biggest decision that I had to make was choosing my health, because I can't lead or provide strength for the city, and I have not strengthened myself first. So stepping away due to a medical condition has was a true season of strengthening me to resolve um, and deepen my commitment not only to myself by saying, "Hey, this is an obstacle I've overcome," but then also leading me to say, "Look, not every decision as a leader is easy. Not every decision is going to make everybody happy. Not every decision is going to make sense to some people." But in that moment, I had to not only trust the process, but also listen to God and say, "Look, I know that if I am not at my best, then I cannot do this job to my best ability." And I respect the city and these residents so much that I would never want it to seem as if I didn't make a decision with a clear mind.
Okay.
So um, that journey actually empowered me to be better, stronger, and also relate to people who have potentially been through some of the same things. You never know when something is going to occur. You never know when your life is going to change. You never know when your body says, "Hey, you have to take a knee." And so in that moment, I ultimately feel like I came back stronger, more aware, and I feel very much so driven because all of those things have allowed me to truly lean in and also focus on how can I come back and do this even better this time. And I'm so grateful that I'm alive and well to do it again because I'm here. I'm
Mm,
here, Ron.
I see. And you tapped on my next question without even asking too, because I was going to ask you how did that season change your life about your leadership and community. You already answered that, and so I'm just astonished that with the way you talking and everybody, I'm gonna let everybody know she did not see the questions.
No.
I'm letting you know that right now.
You hit me unexpectedly with every single one.
So why Tiffany Gibson? What makes you the best choice for place 6 in a special election?
Well, because I bring proven leadership, I'm the real experience. I don't back down. I have a deep commitment for this community in service and integrity and values. I've already had the honor to serve this great city of Schertz, and I understand how to make informed decisions that protect our city and taxpayers. I'm not new to it. I've done this work and I was very good at it. I served my country. I've worked in the financial realm. I've built a business here. Those are already amazing ways for you to see the balanced perspective on leadership, fiscal responsibility, and economic growth. I do those on the daily. Those are things that are already embedded in my daily routine. So this doesn't rock me or shake me in any way. At the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about making sure that Shirts continues to be safe, strong, and a thriving community for all of our families, to include yours.
So now, for undecided voters out there listening right now, what is your message to them?
My message to them is I'm committed to serve. I always have been. Because I've already been able to demonstrate that I take this responsibility very seriously, so seriously that I came back. I have never left this city. Every decision I make is grounded in the best interest of you, every resident in the city of Schertz.
Okay. So we know that early voting starts tomorrow.
Tomorrow, woo!
Why is it so important for residents to get out and vote in this election?
I think it's important for everyone to come out and vote because for one, it's your civic duty. I mean, let's touch there. You have the strength to make a decision on how we're going to move forward. Not only that, this special election is also an opportunity for you as a community to show your voice in a decision that impacts our daily lives. At the end of the day, your voice matters. And this is what you're going to do to make sure that your voice is heard.
Mm. So, can you remind listeners where they can vote early and where they can learn more about your campaign?
Absolutely. So, where you're going to be voting right now um, is on Ebel Road. You're going to be voting starting tomorrow. Tomorrow is early voting. It goes from tomorrow, March 18th, until Tuesday, March 31st. The polling location is the election office Schertz Annex at 1101 Elbow Road, Schertz, Texas 78154. Also, we will have the election office open in Seguin at 3251 North Highway 123, Seguin, Texas 78155. Voting polls are open from 07 a.m. to 7 p.m. And ultimately, the election day is April 4th, and it is on a Saturday. So, for those of you folks who work on Monday through Friday and have the pleasure of being off on the weekends, do not miss your opportunity to come out and vote on April 4th on election day as well. And if you want to find out more about me, please go ahead and get on over to my website at tiffanygibson.com. You can also find me on all social media, Facebook, Instagram as well. And those links are also provided on the website. And if you see me around town, say hello.
It- you're right about that. Okay, a couple more questions. What is your vision for the future of Schertz if you're elected?
So, my vision is not only one of my own, but if I solely um, had a vision of my own, because again, this is a large position. I don't take full responsibility for every decision that is made. But my vision for Shirts is a community that continues to be safe. I've raised my child here. My child has graduated here. For this city to be financially strong and prepare for smart growth, I really just want to ensure that we're supporting our first responders because they are here to serve and protect, being able to just continue to be responsible with our tax dollars and planning growth in a way that protects our infrastructure and quality of life. I live off a major corridor off of I-10. There are three different counties for the city of Schertz: Guadalupe, Comal, and Bexar County. And at the end of the day, my goal is just to make sure that Schertz remains a place where families like mine feel secure and businesses can continue to succeed.
Okay, now I'm going to leave this up to you. I want you to tell the people of Schertz why they should vote for you for a city council on April 4th.
Residents, friends, neighbors, you should vote for me, Tiffany Gibson, because I bring proven experience, study leadership, and deep commitment to this community. I've already served once as city council member and mayor pro tem, so I understand how to make decisions that protect our taxpayers and keep our city moving forward. Ultimately, my focus is on public safety, smart growth, and fiscal responsibility, and making sure that every resident feels heard. And I'm ready to lead on day one.
All right, thank you, Tiffany Gibson, for joining us on Texas in Color. Remember, everybody, early voting begins March 18th. Election day is April 4th. And we encourage everyone in Schertz to get out, get informed, and make your voice heard at the polls. Thank you again, Tiffany Gibson, and we'll talk to you
Thank you,
later.
Ron.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye.
Record.
All right, everybody. That was Tiffany Gibson right here on. Let me get this going real quick. There we go. So we appreciate everybody tuning in this morning or this afternoon. There'll be a replay of this on our YouTube channel, Texas in Color. So if you missed it or you want to see it again, we will replay it later on today. For everybody out there, I'm Ronald Gordon with Texas in Color. Y'all have a blessed day. Thank you.